Wetiko, a contagious psycho-spiritual disease of the soul, a parasite of the mind that is currently being acted out in masses on the world stage via a collective psychosis of titanic proportions. This mind virus, which Native Americans have called Wetiko, covertly operates through the unconscious blind spots in the human psyche, rendering people oblivious to their own madness and compelling them to act against their own best interests. Paul Levy, Dispelling Wetiko. Welcome to Ethereal Aeons Activation. If you're new to the channel, I'm Leslie Demai. Everyone else, welcome back. Wetiko is the same parasitic archontic energy that we have talked about on this channel. It is the energy that attempts to manipulate all of humanity. We're going to reference this energy that works through the collective psyche as Wetiko in this video. This concept is found in various indigenous cultures, particularly around among certain Native American tribes. It's often used to describe an evil spirit or a cannibalistic creature that possesses individuals and drives them to violence, greed, and it will drive them mad. The concept has been adapted and discussed in modern contexts by psychologists, philosophers, spiritual teachers, where it represents a metaphorical form of a psychic virus. Okay, it signifies a state of spiritual or psychological dis-ease or imbalance, and it's reflected the madness of what's going on across the realm and across all of human experience. So despite Wetiko's multidimensional and complex nature, shamans can see this energy in the astral realms. And when they're journeying and just diagnosing and treating individuals, they can see what's working behind the person's mind and their energy. So some of us can sense it in an individual's aura. Some may be able to see its hideous nature in the person's eyes. I can see it in people's energies. I can see it in their mannerisms. I can see it behind their eyes. And modern humans, okay, they can't really interpret this. They might get like a gut instinct, but it's not an instinct powerful enough where they're actually going to listen to it. It's kind of just in the background and it kind of goes unnoticed. And that is because their spiritual centers are shut down. And they often judge by looks and not an individual's energy. So once the person becomes unhinged and displays their true colors, most people call them psychopaths, narcissists, bipolar, basically terms they're familiar with. But this is more destructive than just a mental disease. Mental disease is but a spiritual dis-ease, an energetic hijacking, a severely fractured soul. And the cannibalistic energy eats away at the soul. And it may eat away at the body in forms of disease as well. I have worked with people who have severe Wetiko, and it stripped them of everything, including the desire to live life in any way. Okay, this corruption to the human soul and spirit manifests in many, many, many ways. I have correlated this in my video, Soul Fragmentation, Entity Attachments, how and why it happens. I'll have that link available for you. But the mind virus is so corruptive, it can completely take over. Not only one individual, but to humanity. It works through the collective psyche. It's known to be contagious, which makes complete sense because notice your state of mind when hanging out with a positive, energetically hygienic individual. And then notice your mental state after being in a low vibrational place or hanging out with a person who struggles and complains and remains in that state. This is why once you've been doing the spiritual work, you refuse to expose yourself to low conscious, unaware people and places. It's just not worth it. There is a value and a priority to maintaining your own integrity energetically. This can be really difficult to avoid when you're growing up and dealing with family, or if you're in a chaotic household, or they send you to school and you start your indoctrination process. And this is how the archons ensure your exposure and familiarity to this energy. And I know too many adults who grow up and still expose themselves to this type of energy because they're just used to it. And so they think they can handle being around low vibrational people. They feel they can transmute their density or they can bring them some light, but they're really just throwing themselves under the bus and not realizing the value of remaining as pure as you can in a realm such as ours. So becoming the martyr is the worst way to go and the biggest trap, especially for women. They tend to be looked at as mother figures for weak men. And this happens to a lot of women, even to teenage girls. This starts happening, this pattern. And it's a vicious cycle of trying to heal another person. And we all know how that story ends. It's usually just two unhealed individuals drowning together. So the mind virus is the same conversation in your mind that speaks of limitation, fear, anger. It will always belittle you, and it will keep you identified as your egoic self to the point where your true nature is completely dissolved. And when this happens, you are merged with the collective slumber. When an individual starts their journey on, when an individual begins to spiritually awakening, this is what they awaken to. They awaken to the voices in their head. They become more clear with the activities they're engaging in, which are keeping them suppressed as well. And everything becomes a bit more clear. That is what the spiritual awakening is. We speak of the collective dream pretty often on our channel and in the school because it's so easy to fall back asleep. No matter how long you've been on your spiritual path, if you don't clear these Wetiko programs playing in the background, you will lose lucidity and lose the connection with your divine spark. So fuel yourself with only the things you want to have programmed within you. This is like the brainwashing process, doing it consciously. Brainwash yourself, re-brainwash yourself with what you want to embody, and only that. This can't be 24/7, 100% of the time. Make sure this is always going on, even if it's you listening to different things in the background while you're doing chores around the home, even if it's you no longer listening to low vibrational music when you're driving. I mean, this is such a small way, but it really begins to have a big impact. It's kind of like the compound effect. Just little by little, consistently will rewire you if this is the path you want to take in such a manner. There's different ways to do it. That's just one way. And doing this as well, like letting go of the negative programs you're exposing yourself to, which it's, if you live in a city or anything like this, it's going to be everywhere. But limiting that little by little, you are going to notice the difference when you are exposed to it later on of how low vibrational it actually was, because you've taken enough time away from it. Once this awareness starts to kick in, you're going to start to see it in more and more places, and you'll slowly start to cleanse yourself out that way. So fuel yourself with only the things you want to have programmed within you. Cut those etheric cords holding you in the old dream. So most of us walk the path of the hermit for years. We do this because 99% of the population is infected. So create your own conscious dream, thought by thought, with action and intention. And for many, it's going to be not partaking in certain things. So maybe less action in certain areas in your life. And that alone will lessen the programming and association. So NPCs are the collective hive mind working through the same parasitic force. And it's a serious thing. And your awareness on this is the first huge stride towards freeing yourself from the collective slumber. So I hope this video, sheds some more light on this and how it works through humanity and how it works within yourself, and start to see really which of these Archon encrypted programs are really tugging at your divine spark and trying to dim you and diminish you. And find that power within, find the willpower to banish it and to cleanse it and to alchemize it or to transmute it. all of these practices we talk about, all of these things that we, prioritize in our life are there to clear this parasitical energy. So please hit the like button if you enjoy this video and share it with somebody who you think can benefit from it as well. This is just another name for the same archontic force that works through as many people as it possibly can. We got to stop this chain reaction. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and check out the links in my description. I have my 8-week soul empowerment one-on-one coaching program still available. I have 2 more spots for this next quarter. So check out the links in my description, and I will see you very soon.